You're listening to the All Systems Go podcast, the show that teaches you everything you need to know to put your business on autopilot. Learn how to deploy automated marketing and sales systems in your business the right way with your host, the professor of automation himself and founder of Automation Bridge, Chris Davis.
Welcome to the All Systems Go podcast. I'm your host, Chris L. Davis, the founder of Automation Bridge, an online publication for small business marketing automation. This episode, I'm going to run the risk of sounding a bit hypocritical, discussing being successful in business without using automation. Is it possible? Can you do it? Well, the answer is yes. I would follow up with, should you do it? So we'll find out and talk about it in this episode. Before we jump into it, if you're new to the podcast, make sure that you subscribe and share. Do me a favor, listen to this episode in its entirety so that you're making a sound judgment that this is a podcast that you want to ensure that you listen to every Thursday or binge and get up and get caught up. All right. If you're already subscribed, thank you. You can find the All Systems Go podcast in all main podcasting apps like Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. We're on YouTube. So please leave a 5-star rating and review. It will be greatly appreciated. And thank you to everyone who has left one. And thank you in advance for everyone who will leave one. OK, so let me first start out by saying I want everybody. My desire is for everyone to leverage marketing and sales automation at the highest level required in your business. But over time, I continue to see businesses use automation in its minimal form or not at all and get sales. In fact, you don't need any form of deep or advanced automation to make $1 million. You don't. OK, it's the reality in pretty much any industry except information and digital products, because just by nature, you need digital dissemination of marketing to make that work. Right. But this has been something that it's kind of so some insight on me. I tend to get judgmental with businesses. Right. Like I'm always assessing your systems. So that's just the key. In fact, this company shall remain nameless, but I'm using them for a service, and every single time I have to provide information, it's never pre-populated. They ask the same information: name, email, business, phone number. And after submitting that 3 or 4 times to the same business, you expect something to be pre-populated or stop asking me for the same information. It really is ridiculous. It bothers me when I go to the doctor's office, but I get it. Old proprietary systems, not made for sharing information. We just talked about synchronous data passing in the previous episode, not built on that. So I give them a pass. But if you're a company that's primarily digital, and you keep asking me for the same information, I know it's stored in your CRM. I know it. And here's the thing. The reason why I know it is because you're using Entreport. So I know that's an Entra form and the information is in my contact record. Stop asking for the same information time and time again. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me get off my soapbox. But you see, I get riled up. When systems when they're not optimized, it frustrates me. And then I'm like, you need to be automating this and that. And then I have to check myself, because I always say, if you're not automating, you're going broke, right? If you're not going automated, you're going broke. But it's just not true. OK, and though I've always been turned off, it really bothers me when I see a good business not doing automation correctly. So just imagine my life online. I'm frustrated when you should be automating. And then when you're an influencer or, a figure in the space and you are automating and you're doing it wrong, it's even more frustrating because it goes to show that no amount of money can guarantee a great marketer, a great automation service provider. No amount of money can guarantee that. You have more to waste and give them a chance to catch up. So, and in fact, I don't know the marketer. I don't even know the influencer personally, but I'll do some name calling on this episode. Michael Hyatt. I believe he's in leadership. I'm not a huge follower, but I am aware of him. And from the small engagement that I have had, I do respect what he's doing. And I believe I know of Michael Hyatt through John Maxwell's leadership training, but I've never gone through anything of Michael Hyatt's myself. I've heard about him and again, seen him around. So there's an ad in my feed more recently. And I said, okay, let me check it out. I opt into this thing, whatever it was. I don't know if it was of value because I don't remember it. So it may not have been of value, but it was interesting. The ad was interesting at least. And opting into this lead magnet put me on about 20 marketing lists. I'm not exaggerating. You could do this right now. I think it would work for anything that you opt in on Michael Hyatt's website. The first email you receive, hit unsubscribe. It's going to take you to the HubSpot unsubscribe page where it's going to list like 20 marketing lists, all checked, that you did not opt in for. I'll say that. You opted in for that one thing, that one lead magnet, and they took it upon themselves. And I'll put it on the marketer. The marketer took it upon themselves to say, hey, look, if they opt in for anything, they get everything. Terrible logic. Listen, do not ever, hear me? Do not ever deploy the if they opt into anything, they get everything approach. Ever. Because shortly thereafter, I started to receive emails from Focus on This. That was the name. That was the from name. Focus on This. I had no clue. What is this? I opened up one of the emails because I'm about to report it as spam because I'm mad that you're in my inbox. You're spamming me. And right at the footer, it says Michael Hyatt. And I'm like, see, this is just bad marketing. This is it. It's terrible. It's lazy segmentation. You just create all these lists and opt everybody into it. Lazy. You might as well use MailChimp if that's what you're going to do. You're overpaying for HubSpot because you can do so much more. They have smart lists. I always call them smart lists. They've updated it. I think they're just what are they called now? I forget what they're called, but they automatically update based on a variety of criteria so that you can send more targeted information. But here's what the marketer didn't do. Made a good promise. Hey, we could do that. Yeah, sure. Michael Hyatt, he's not technical. He's not checking the systems on that level. So he's thinking, hey, no harm, no foul, because guess what? It's still successful. And when I say it's successful, I'm assuming. I never want to make the claim somebody's successful. I'm just saying the man is still looking clean in his images. He's still running events. He's still selling books. I don't know if he's broke or not. He could be, knowing the internet these days. But he has the appearance of being successful. I'll say that. So bad marketing, yes. Is he successful? Yes. Is the marketing making him successful? I don't know. I've seen companies where they have terrible marketing and they're still successful. I've seen a marketing automation company that didn't know how to market and they're still successful. So it begins to really challenge you. Do you really need automated marketing, to be successful? One could argue that you don't need all of it. And why pay so much for all of that technology if you don't need it? Well, here's the true answer. The choice is yours. How you want to operate in your business and make money is up to you. If you want to hire out a sales force instead of implementing sales automation, so be it. If you don't want to do your due diligence in really training up a marketer or equipping that marketer with resources to become a better automation service provider for your business, so be it. The choice is yours, always has been, always will be. But for the businesses that do leverage marketing and sales automation highly, they experience what I call the 3 L's of automated success. Okay. The first L is lean operation. This is making the largest amount of profit and impact with the minimal size team. And when I say team, I mean humans, because lean operations also includes hiring technology. Okay. So if you want to operate lean, meaning you want to keep the footprint of your staff as small as possible without sacrificing revenue, marketing and sales automation is the only way. So lean operation is the first L. And let me say this, depending on where you grew up and what type of jargon or, vernacular you're used to hearing, L's in my community, when I grew up, L's mean losses. So when you take a L, you take a loss. These 3 L's are not losses. These are the opposite. I need you to take these L's. Like I need you to learn these and live by them. I need you to live by these L's. Okay. So one is lean operation. These are the benefits of leveraging marketing and sales automation at a high level in your business. You can operate lean. Lean operation is the first L. The second L is leveraged efforts. And I looked online. Everybody listen to me. I have talked about leveraged efforts so many times. I went to the business dictionary. I think it was businessdictionary.com, and they had the best definition. Listen to this definition of leveraged efforts. The ability to influence a system or an environment in a way that multiplies the outcome of one's efforts without a corresponding increase in the consumption of resources. Oh my goodness. I read that. Listen, I read that and I almost fell out my chair. Like, have you ever just read something so good? It was good to your soul. Like it went down to the inmost parts and did something to you. It made you happy. It made you happy from an area that you're not used to being happy from. Like, this definition gave me joy, everybody. I know it may be a little nerdy and whatever the case, but it gave me so much joy. Let me read it again. If it didn't give you the proper amount of joy, let me just read it again. Leveraged efforts are defined in the Business Dictionary as the ability to influence a system or an environment in a way that multiplies the outcome of one's efforts without a corresponding increase in consumption of resources. I can have a maximum output with minimal resources. Oh my goodness. I need to just frame that. I really do. I could look at that definition every day. It's really what I live by. It's how you get more out of your lean operations. Okay. Leveraged efforts. Last L that I need you to take and live by. Longevity. Longevity in business. Don't burn yourself out because you're doing all the heavy lifting. And your team shouldn't burn out either. Okay? And let me say this. A lot of ways people are currently operating in their business has an expiration date on it that they're not even aware of. Looks good now. Check back in a few years. You'll see they got bags under their eyes, or, perhaps the business isn't doing what it needs to do. Don't be prisoner of the moment. Business is cyclical like life. You're going to have your ebbs and flows, your ups and downs. What a system with putting an automated system in place is it gives you some level of consistency through it all. So if you're operating lean, you've got technology doing a majority of your heavy lifting. You have people where they're absolutely necessary. But even with people, they're being leveraged highly. Again, leveraged efforts. they're influencing and multiplying the outcome without a massive consumption of resources. So they're using the technology and leveraging it to amplify the output. And because they're doing that and you're doing that, people are not burning themselves out. So it goes to what I said. The choice is yours on how you want to operate in your business and make money. That's where the case of to automate or not automate, that's where it comes from. And the truth is, proper implementation and usage of technology will always yield a greater benefit for your business. Always. And the key word is proper implementation. I guess the key words are proper implementation. Because in that Michael Hyatt example, that was not proper implementation. So I can't guarantee that increased or greatly benefited the business. In my experience, it put a scar on the business. I will never freely opt in or blindly opt in to something from Michael Hyatt, at least not using a real email address. He will forever get a fake email address from me until he does something, until I see something change. But you're not putting me on 20 marketing emailing lists because I opted into one thing. And no, I'm sorry. And I'm disappointed. Whoever his marketer is, I am greatly disappointed in you. However, I can help. Okay. I would not be expressing such great disdain if I didn't already have something in place to help you and people like you. So the challenge becomes finding people to leverage it correctly for you. And that's where most people are just like, the time that it takes for me to find the right person and get them up to speed, I'll just do it this way. And then if they're successful doing it that way, now they think, oh, I don't need it. We're good. But it's got an expiration date on it. Have you met those people who are tired in their business? And you could tell, not saying they don't love their business. They actually love their business. They're just tired in it. Maybe it's the operations. They may be tired of the people in it. I've met business owners that love the people that they work with, but would rather not have to work with them to run their business. And there's always options, right? You can always hire an assistant or hire a level under you to handle that. Or you could just eliminate the need altogether with putting automated systems and structure in place. Right? So the challenge to find people to leverage it correctly, that applies to everybody, as we see. And again, there's another influencer. This saddened me, everybody. In fact, I told you I'm saddened all the time. It's a sad state of mind that I'm frequently in when I'm frequenting the web and people choose to advertise to me. Because again, I'm going through your system and I'm assessing every step of the way. And if you're an influencer with money, you should know better. But really, should they? Just because they have money, they're specialists in business, not in this technical area. So they can hire these marketers that'll sell them anything. And they'll say, oh, yeah, okay, do it. Great, thanks. And these marketers are terrible. Damon John. I like Damon John. I took a picture with Damon John, everybody. When he was in Minnesota, when I was living in Minnesota, he did his book signing for The Power of Broke. Went, got my book signed, dapped him up, took a picture with him. One of my favorite sharks on Shark Tank. Got nothing but love for Damon John. FUBU was iconic for the culture, right? Nothing but love for him. But I have to say, whoever is responsible for his marketing, shame on you, because I was advertised for like an email flow or something like that. Like, here, launch this email sequence for revenue. So I'm like, okay, Damon John, you're in my space now. Let me check you out. So I opt into it, and the thank you page was a login screen. And guess what? A login screen with no credentials. So I had to go to my email to get my credentials. I'm already frustrated now because it's a barrier. You could have auto logged me in. You mean to tell me your marketer and your budget, you can't figure out how to auto log me into this platform? Okay, fine. I'll go get my username and password. Get the username and password, put it in to log in. Immediately it tells me change my password. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I can't all I wanted was the simple download. So now I got to log in, reset my password. And then when I finally do it, because it was telling me, oh, wrong email address. I couldn't use my email address. I had to use my username. So anyway, it was just crazy. I end up logging in and I see everything except the one thing that I just requested. It's all these courses, this big portal with all of this content. I'm like, where is the one thing that I was looking for? So I could tell his digital marketer didn't have a good understanding of customizing the customer journey and streamlining technology. He did a terrible job assessing the technology used, and he did an even more terrible job implementing it and creating a cohesive customer journey. And I'm sure the amount of money Damon John pays to allocate for those futile efforts in marketing are much different than what you can afford, right? You can't afford that mix up because the proprietary membership, it wasn't proprietary, but it was a membership platform that cost money. The digital marketer cost money. The Facebook ads cost money. Everything was costing money. But to a millionaire, maybe that cost is negligible, right? To you, small business heir, it is devastating having the wrong person doing something like this. So a lot of big businesses can waste money on marketing. Do not follow their lead. Do not follow their lead. Okay? Without properly using technology, here's what you'll do. You'll overpay for human resources, okay, which can be stressful for a lot of you. Can I park here for a second and just say a lot of CEOs really don't like people? Can I say that? Like a lot of CEOs do not like people. And guess what? That's okay. It is. It's okay if you don't like people. Just create the structure where you don't have to be engaging with them, but don't act. Don't put on the act like you do when you don't. You need to hire somebody. You need to hire the hype man, right? The person that goes before your employees, the person who's just always out there communicating on your behalf, right? So if you're in a small business and you don't really engage well with people, you're going to overpay for them if you don't have technology in place to automate your sales and marketing. Okay. You're also going to overpay for technology. Your marketer needs to be able to assess the best technology for your needs, and cost is not feature, and functionality to strategy is more important than cost. But you should be mindful of cost. I was just talking to somebody last week or sometime, and they were asking me, should I go with platform A or B? And these were marketing automation platforms. I don't want to name them, but one was a lot more expensive than the next. And I thought they could go with the inexpensive one only if their marketer could leverage it, knew how to leverage it. And I was willing to, allow their marketer to come into my program and learn how to leverage it. That would have been the best way. Okay. But they're going to overpay for technology by going the other route because they don't know yet how to properly leverage the technology. Okay. So they're going to overpay for it. The next thing that you'll experience without the proper usage of technology is underperformance. And this is just a people thing. People traditionally will underperform at times. Especially if you're not meeting their drivers, creating an environment where they can really thrive. Again, which a lot of people who aren't people, they don't like people like that. They're not good. They don't have strong leadership, not good at team building. You're going to see this underperformance quicker. And lastly, you're going to be over reliant on human beings. I'm not speaking about like replacing all humans. I'm talking about not optimizing the usage of them. This goes back to leveraged efforts. They simply, people shouldn't be doing the heavy lifting in your business anymore. They should be managing the heavy lifting because technology should be doing the heavy lifting. Okay. And I can tell you this. Every business that is achieving success without fully leveraging technology for automating their marketing and sales could easily produce more profit if they did. Easily. That's a fact. I'm not even saying this is 99.9% sure. 100% of the time, every business who is achieving any level of success, I don't care what level you're at, the proper implementation of automated marketing and sales systems will, not maybe, not can, not hopefully, will produce more profits. And if you ask any of the CEOs I mentioned in this episode or any others, if they like to do that, they either A, are under the impression this is already taking place, right? They're like, no, wait, we're on Facebook. We're running advertising. Yeah, we're doing that. No, have you seen what happens when someone opts in? Have you seen this? Right. So they're under the blind impression that they're already doing it, which is hilarious to me and unfortunate at the same time. Or they do it in a heartbeat if they had the right resource to do so. Again, this goes back to my statement. People who know how to do this are hard to find. So everybody wants to make more by doing less. Many don't know how to. So they do what they have to do. That's the hustle. That's the grind, right? And a lot of times it works and it's exhausting, right? I don't take pride in the no sleep folks. Hey, we don't sleep. I'll sleep when I'm dead. I don't this, I that. I'm grinding, y'all. Nah. You gonna catch brother Chris sleeping. I'm gonna be sleeping somewhere. You can send me that email. But as for me in my house, I'm going to be asleep. I'm getting my rest. And in fact, when I wake up, I'm not spending all my day in brain power in my business. No, that's what I automated for. I want to experience life, the joyness and fullness thereof. Right? The joy and fullness thereof, right? That's what I want to do. I don't want to be exhausted. If I'm exhausted in business, it's for a purpose. It's because I know if I just do this sprint, grind it out for the next 2 to 3 months, I'll have all the foundational pieces of the systems in place and automated to where I don't have to do it again. It's my approach. So my hope for you in recording this episode is that you do the work that you love, making money how you want to in a way that energizes you, right? You should be energized. It should give life. Your business should give life to you. I love it when I get notifications in my email of sales or appointments or, critical things that people are doing in my CRM. I love it. It brightens my day. I can randomly be at somebody's house and I'll just laugh or I'll just be smiling. Hey, what are you smiling at? What's on your phone? They think I'm about to show them something on Facebook or some Instagram picture. It's an email. I'm like, oh, look, they just enrolled in my course. They don't know what they're in for. They're in for quite the experience. I've got it set up to where I get Slack notifications and it gives me all the information too. I'm like, okay, they just did this, and that, and they're about to receive this later. Okay, cool. And I'm on with my day. It's a beautiful thing, everybody. And my desire is I just want to give it to you. Okay. I want you to experience this. There is no greater feeling than a system having your back. No greater feeling. And when that system is automated, oh my, good night. You talk about good dreams, everybody. You may not have experienced the dreams that I've experienced. I just realized that. Maybe I'll add that to the list of things without properly using technology the right way. You won't have the best dreams. Granted, I have some crazy dreams at times, depending on what I'm watching on Netflix or whatever before I go to sleep. But for the most part, my dreams are nice and peaceful. I wake up light. I don't wake up heavy. No greater feeling than when an automated system has your back. You need this. So who's the person that needed to hear it? Who is it? Who's the influencer? Listen, I'm not saying if you know Damon John or Michael Hyatt, tell them that their marketer is doing them a disservice, but I'm not saying don't say it, right? Like, it's up to you. But I would say, seriously, everybody, you don't have to be an influencer. Everybody needs a skilled automation service provider in their business so they can sleep better. Sweet dreams for real. Okay. And if you found it, so let me just finish my thought here. I was saying who needs to hear it. I got on a trail when I was thinking about influencers. But seriously, who needs to hear this? Who's that up and coming digital marketer? That person that's aspiring to learn how to do this, right? Maybe you're in a group of marketers. Maybe you're on a team of marketers in a startup. You all need to listen to this one. Okay. It's a good refresher. For those of you who have gotten out of the desire to automate because maybe it was a little overwhelming and you're experiencing success and you think this is the success that you want in business, I'm telling you, it gets greater later if you automate. It really does. You don't have to automate everything. But there's never a case that I've seen a strong business automate strong processes and not make more money. Just doesn't happen. It's the law of automation that I just created on this episode. Okay. So who's that person? Think of that individual, that team, and share this episode with them. Because if you found this episode valuable, and this is your first one, now's the time that I extend the invitation to you to join the family of listeners, small business owners who are dedicated to learning and leveraging marketing automation to the greatest success level possible. Okay, so the invitation is yours. How do you do it? Subscribe. Just subscribe. Wherever you're listening to this, just hit the subscribe button. Leave a 5-star rating and review in iTunes. That will be my confirmation that you're on the team. You're in the family. Okay, here at Automation Bridge, as you can see, we're dedicated to training digital marketing professionals to become automation service providers. You see the need. I always say this: small businesses are in dire need of marketers with the ability to learn marketing and technology to deploy these automated marketing and sales systems for rapid growth. You see it. I just named 2 influencers. The list is long of people who I come across daily, and I'm just like, ooh, that's not right. I wonder if they know that it's not working. I wonder if they know their marketers has them out here wrong, right? But that's what we're committed to, creating those automation service providers through community, expert training, advice, mentorship, coaching, right? So if that's you, I want you to go to automationbridge.com/ASP, ASP for automation service provider, to take the next step to talk to someone on my team or myself to assess if you'd be a good fit for the community. Our coaching and mentoring programs to make sure to shorten the learning curve for you to quickly rise to the top of one of the highest demand professions in small business is an automation service provider. Okay, the time is now. The need has never been greater. Trust me. You see it again. I just mentioned 2, and it was pretty bad. Okay, I'm seeing it with my own eyes and serving it with my own hands. Will you help me? Will you put your hands with mine so that we can make a bigger change and impact for the greater good of these small businesses in these days of COVID and beyond? All right. automationbridge.com/ASP if you want to join the movement. All right. So all show notes and podcasts are accessible, as always, at automationbridge.com/podcast. You can subscribe there and listen to any other episode, all episodes at your leisure. Okay. So until next time, automate responsibly, my friends.